everyone, I'm Renee Fuentes and welcome back to my channel, Thai Caliente, where I show you how to make your favorite Thai and Mexican recipes. Today I'm sharing a recipe for Posole Rojo. And if you've never had posole, it is a soup that is made with hominy, which is kind of it's dried corn kernels, but they've been treated through a process and then cooked. So they're kind of big and puffy, but they kind of have the texture of a bean. A real authentic, cozy soup. My in-laws make it all the time during the holidays. You can feed a crowd. And the version that I'm gonna be showing you today is from Guadalajara, where my in-laws are from. And I'm actually gonna be making it in the Instant Pot. So if you don't have an Instant Pot, I do include instructions on how to make it on a stovetop, but I'm also making it a little bit healthier and using a pork tenderloin as opposed to a pork shoulder, which is more commonly used. So there's less fat, but cooking the tenderloin in the Instant Pot just results in a super juicy, flavorful, lean pork. This soup goes perfect with some shredded cabbage, lettuce, radishes, extra squeezes of lime and hot sauce, and then we like to use tostadas or tortilla chips to eat with it. It's a great recipe to make during the cooler months, so let me show you guys how to make it.
So as I mentioned, I am using pork tenderloin or tenderloin roast, and I have about 2 pounds of pork that I've just diced up and cubed here. Next is the most important part of posole, and that is the hominy. So I am using 2 25-ounce cans of white Mexican hominy, and you're going to want to drain and rinse the hominy before you put in the soup. And to make the posole sauce or the broth, we're going to be using Guajillo chilies or California chilies. So they come dried, and you can usually find them in the spice section of your grocery store, or most Hispanic markets will carry them. So I am using 6 dried Guajillo chili peppers. Now I have 1 white onion. I've just left it whole and peeled it and cut off the tops and bottoms. And then I have a couple cloves of garlic that I've just peeled. And here I'm adding 1 tablespoon of salt initially. You can always taste it once it's done and add more if needed. And then I have 2 Roma tomatoes. I've just cut off the tops and I've sliced them in half. So now for the Guajillo peppers or California peppers, we're going to remove the stems and then shake out most of the seeds. We are going to be straining the sauce, so if you don't get all the seeds out, don't worry. And then I just have a saucepan that I'm going to add the chilies in with some water, and now we need to rehydrate them. So this can either be boiling water that I've already boiled, or you can add boiling water to it. But as you can see, just from the hot water, the peppers have already softened. So as I mentioned, we are going to drain and rinse the hominy. Go ahead and pour that out, and we are using both 25-ounce cans. If you need to make a smaller portion, use less, or if you need a very large portion, then go ahead and double it. So go ahead and add the drained hominy to a separate bowl. And now we're going to make the red sauce. So after about 20 minutes, the peppers should have softened and rehydrate. So I'm going to add them to a blender, and then I'm going to add 1 cup of regular water, so not the water that we used for the peppers. And then I'm going to add the garlic cloves along with my Roma tomatoes, and then give that a good blend. I blended it for about 1 minute just to make sure everything is nice and incorporated. If you don't have a high-speed blender, then you might need to blend it a little bit longer, but we are going to strain this mixture. So if it is a little bit chunkier, it might take longer to strain. But a trick I like to do to kind of help move it along is to just get a rubber spatula and just kind of press against the strainer to make sure you get all of that beautiful broth without any seeds or parts of the chili. Okay, so we are putting our pork into the Instant Pot. No searing required. Just go ahead and add the cut pork in along with our drained hominy and the broth that we just strained, the red sauce. And then to that, I'm going to add water all the way to the top of the Instant Pot where the max line is. And I just added some salt along with the whole onion. So I have an 8-quart Instant Pot. If you have a smaller one, obviously you'll have to use less water, but you just have to look at wherever your max line is on the Instant Pot. Go ahead and put the lid on, set the valve to sealing, and I'm doing this for 25 minutes. I also like to let the pressure release for about 10 minutes just so it's not super hot and a lot of water spilling everywhere. But once it's done, go ahead and remove the onion and discard it, and you can see the pozole already looks amazing. You can leave the pork as is or kind of shred it up with 2 forks, whichever your preference is. But this looks perfect the way it is, and I promise the pork is just going to be so tender and fall apart in your mouth. So to complete the pozole, we need to add our toppings. This is an essential step, so don't skip it. First, I'm going to start with some lime juice and then a little bit of hot sauce for some heat. And I'm going to add some finely shredded cabbage for some crunch, some cilantro, as well as some sliced radishes for kind of that peppery bite. All right, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this authentic and easy recipe for Instant Pot Posole Rojo, and be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.